Welcome back. Let's take a look at the alternating pattern. This is our second basic organizational method, and the writer structures his essay differently than in the block pattern. He discusses one characteristic of the first subject and then a corresponding characteristic of the second subject. He continues alternating the two subjects until the comparison-contrast is complete and both subjects are fully revealed. This pattern is better than the block pattern for long, complex comparison-contrast essays where the subjects are related at a number of points or where the comparisons and contrasts require extensive explanation. The writer decides on the alternating pattern when use of the block pattern would make it too difficult for his reader to remember the details for the first description while reading the second. Again, the alternating pattern has a number of things in common with the expository writing you've done thus far. The first introductory paragraphs are the same. It's only when you get midway into the second paragraph or the first body paragraph that the alternating essay begins to vary. Here you can see exactly what's different between the outlines for the body paragraphs. In the top one, you see the block method, and in the bottom one, you see the alternating method. The alternating method focuses on the characteristics and then talking about both subjects within that characteristic description. While the two organizational patterns of block and alternating are the basic and the most commonly used ones, for an essay of compare and contrast, it is possible to combine the two if the writer feels that would make his essay clearer or better. In this combined pattern, the first subject is presented fully. Then, in the second part of the essay, the reader is referred point by point to the first subject. The writer provides a brief summary of the relevant part of the full presentation and then compares and contrasts the relevant part of the second subject to it. Either of the two basic patterns or the combined pattern should be chosen based on the determination of which is most suitable for the subject, the purpose, and the audience. The block method, remember, is generally most suitable for a fairly simple and straightforward comparison and contrast, while the alternating pattern works better for complex and lengthy subject matter. The combined method, too, is generally used for a more difficult or extended comparison and contrast than the block pattern, one in which it will be useful to be able to refer the reader point by point back to the full description in the first section. While the patterns are presented here as expository, they may be used to structure your argument in a persuasive essay, where rather than merely presenting the alternatives informatively, you must make choices. You will take a stand and use comparison and contrast as your major method of development.